nobody's gonna pay my bills. Like me caring about what everyone thinks is only keeping me in a cage. Like truly keeping me in the cage. And like you just have to do things. When you do things that like maybe you're uncomfortable with, you realize it's not that bad. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
But it's easier said than done.
No, it's actually easiher done than said because you're thinking about it, so you're creating the fear.
Yeah.
Right? But like when you with your homies, like don't you joke around? Like you crack jokes.
Yeah.
Right? You have everyone has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Or everybody has an idea. Everyone has something to say. Like TikTok, obviously a lot of people on there dance and make jokes. But I see all wide ranges of content on there. Just like I seen someone today who was like 80 years old, grandpa, and they're just like chilling. This guy's got like 500,000 followers, like just like cracking up. Good thing about TikTok is it rewards people for being who they are. Yeah, like Instagram's like, let me put on a show, kind of, right? Like let me put on my best. TikTok will reward you for the quirky individual you are or whoever you are, unfiltered. You don't need to have like an amazing. Most people are just doing content off their iPhone. Okay. Right. Most people aren't doing what I'm doing, actually like creating the content on like the camera and stuff. Most people do it off their phone. And people like it because everyone feels like they have an opportunity. Like everyone wants to go where the opportunity is, right?
Everyone has a chance, right?
Well, it's insane. If I've been creating content for a long time. I've had Instagram for like 7 years. I have 56. Like I'm not saying followers matter, but in this life, like we are trying to build 5,600 followers on Instagram. TikTok, I have 52,000 today. Yeah, in 2 months.
What about YouTube?
YouTube, I have like 2,000. Okay. Right.
Which one matters more, though?
I say neither of them matters more.
No.
Whatever matters more is the one that you can create on. Like, there's an opportunity on TikTok, right? TikTok matters more right now. Like, for me, it would be ridiculous for me to be like, I'm going to invest all my time into Instagram. Why would I do that? Yeah. TikTok gives me more followers on Instagram than Instagram gives me on Instagram. Yeah. I post on TikTok. I posted something today. Like 20,000 likes, 20,000 views, 4,000 likes in a couple hours. And then I had like about 10 messages from people on TikTok like, I love you, you're a vibe. And they come over.
I don't know, Instagram been weird lately. Just ever since Kobe died.
You think because Kobe died, so it's different?
It's been weird. For me, I don't know, my feed, like, I don't know, my feed just been like weird. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't want to be on there anymore because that's all you'd see.
Dude, Instagram doesn't have a culture. Right. What I noticed with TikTok is it has a culture. It turns everyone into a creator instead of just a consumer as well. Like everyone is on there feeling like they could input. Like I seen they had like these TikTok girls like basically all over the NBA All-Stars.
I saw that.
Right.
And then like Giannis did the little dance with them too. Yeah.
But you see like those girls are huge. Like those girls are like 26.
I heard they stole the dance.
No, they didn't still dance. Like basically what like TikTok is just full of it's full of dances, right?
Yeah,
like people do dances, and there was this girl from Atlanta, 14-year-old girl from Atlanta, black girl. She created the dance. I don't even think they knew who created the dance. You go on there, you see people doing the dance, and you dance, and then those girls blew up more because of it. I don't think it was a direct like I'm stealing from you, but you know the girl did deserve to get her credit. But look what happened. She got her credit. Like she ended up, so it turned out well. But those other girls are definitely like way bigger, 27 million followers. Like they're catching big bags. But TikTok is just catapult them to the fact that the NBA is going to be like, yeah, let's get these 16-year-old girls to dance with all the NBA players and basically like host a halftime show. That shows you the power of TikTok.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Right? Like, because TikTok has a culture to it. Like, there's the actual culture to it. And I keep saying to people, I'm like, if you're investing your time into like Instagram, that's like, I had to question your intelligence because the opportunity is on TikTok.
Yeah.
If you're trying to grow, if you're trying to put out content.
I think it's easier to find a niche audience on TikTok too, right?
100%.
Yeah.
You just find 100%. You find your niche and you stick to it.
Because like I saw your TikToks and then it seems like everybody catches on. And
I found a niche.
Same vibe.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Same energy.
Exactly. I caught a niche.
Yeah.
I caught a niche and I just filled like a void that wasn't really there.
Yeah. And you can be yourself more, right? In that way. Whereas I feel like on Instagram, everybody has to kind of at times be.
Yeah. I feel like you can be yourself anywhere, but I feel like TikTok rewards people from being themselves. Yeah. Like let's say you be yourself on Instagram and like you post something and like no one likes it. And like you have to be confident to be like still keep it up there and whatnot. On TikTok, it's like you're gonna be yourself, and somehow oddly, like you may bust up on like 2 million views or something, and then you're gonna feel great about you being quirky, and then it actually promotes you to just continue to keep doing what you're doing, right? Yeah. Which is interesting because everyone has that opportunity. Most people on that page, if you post enough, you're gonna have at least one video do like semi-viral numbers. Like you're gonna at least have a video that does like 100,000 at least.
Crazy.
Wow.
Right.
That's crazy.
At least. That's
like anybody.
I guaranteed if you most people if you post like 50 videos, one of them is gonna do some numbers.
Pop off.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're gonna be famous.
Yeah.
But you're gonna do some numbers.
How do you make money off TikTok?
I think it's just the same way as Instagram in the way if you have a brand and you have a following, then people come to you to sponsor. But people also do lives on there, and people will pay you while you're on your live.
Oh, like kind of like Twitch.
Yes, people do that as well. And the same thing with Instagram, like brand deals, whatever. You have numbers.
Yeah, like they get paid for posts and stuff like that.
Yeah, but a lot of those kids who are blowing up on there, they blew up on TikTok and they have like one video on YouTube, but their YouTube channels have millions of followers just because it's come over.
Yeah.
Like mine on a micro scale, 50,000 followers, but they're coming over to my other platforms, right? So I'm like, oh, it makes more sense to put 80% of my content creation into TikTok right now.
Yeah.
20 into these others because TikTok,
it's crazy.
I don't know if that opportunity is gonna be there forever.
Yeah.
Same thing could happen when it could happen like Instagram, right? Where it's hard to grow. That will happen.
Eventually.
Yeah, that will happen.
Well, Instagram is already hard to grow.
Instagram is like nearly impossible to grow, but like I said, I've tested it.
Frustrating.
Like if I'm posting like 3 times a day, pumping it.
Yeah.
Yo, then like you see your profile visits go 100%. Up, engagement, shares. But as soon as you stop, like 4 days later, your page will die.
Even if you just post stories or you can post like some questions and stuff like that, you tell them more engagement happens. But then every single day, it's like
this is why TikTok is smart. Is the content you post compound interest, meaning if you post something today, it's gonna keep getting played for the next 2 months. Like randomly, something you posted a month ago, boom, goes viral. So on TikTok, people don't like deleting their videos because even if it didn't do well right away, it has this weird
algorithm.
Yeah, this algorithm where you have a delayed explosion effect. I have a video that just went trending in Saudi Arabia. So all my comments were from people in Saudi Arabia. It's a video I did a month ago. And I'm like, crazy. What's going on? And then I checked the analytics. It's like trending Saudi Arabia.
That's
I posted that a month ago. On Instagram, that would have been lost in my feed.
Yeah. Well, Instagram's done. Shelf life's like a day.
That's what I'm saying. So it doesn't
even songs are last time.
It doesn't make sense to invest way too much energy there. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You just maintain. To me, I'm like, I just maintain. I'll make stuff over here, share it over there. But like, let me actually. For me, I'm like, oh, TikTok, I could probably buy my. I think in like the next month, I could probably have like 100,000 if I just consistently post every day.
And that's why all these YouTubers and stuff, they started kicking back to TikTok. Now everybody's on there, like Logan guys, Paul, all those guys.
I think it's like if you're creating content in any type of medium, then you should just be posting to TikTok.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous not to be.
If you're not,
you're gonna miss the opportunity. It's like like a gold rush. It's like if we're homies and we're in real estate. I'm like, yo, bro, there's a really good deal over here on land. It's cheap.
Yeah,
it's only gonna be there for like the next month. People are gonna find out. Take it now. Right? Then I get rich, and then you miss out, and you're like, damn, bro, I should have really got on there. I'm like, hey, man, it's too late.
Makes sense.
It's gonna be harder.
We out here sharing the knowledge right now.
Yeah, because even podcasts, there are people who share their podcasts on there.
On TikTok?
Yes, there's all. It's not
how long are the videos?
A minute.
A minute.
Just like Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
So you can put like minute clips up.
Yeah. But they got to be engaging.
Yeah, you gotta.
For people to watch for a full minute.
Yeah. But a lot of people put like.
Yeah, I saw that one where the girl was like kind of grinding on her end, and then you're like dancing on one end.
Oh, those are duets.
Yeah, what's that?
Those are cool.
That's interesting, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's why the app is better too, because they make it interactive. Basically, if you post a video, someone could click this button that says duet.
Yeah.
And it's basically we're gonna collaborate. So let's say you're dancing, then they like go and like dance with you. Or let's say you're doing a podcast. Some people, even when I do my podcast content, some people will do a duet and they'll just like sit there pretending like they're listening. And when I say something they like, they're like,
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
But then they reshare it. Yeah. So like I did one video that was like super nostalgic, like old school reggae song.
Yeah.
And that one blew up because everyone just started
duetting it. Girl type of kind of grinding.
Yo, that's what they do.
Yeah, yo, right? That's she's really on the other end, like
yes, because it's like
I'm doing that totally went over my head.
That's literally what it. I remember. You were so calm about it. I'm like, yeah. my homie says I'm in the future because he's like, yo, you don't even have to go to the club. I'm like,
that's crazy. And that's exactly what I thought, man. I was like, this guy's getting bitches from home on his fucking phone.
Bomba clot.
That was sick.
Respect to all the women on TikTok, but it's funny because actually 87% of my following on there is women, and so like a lot of the duets will be like women, and it's funny. And they're like dancing with me and stuff. A lot of stuff I'm just like I'm dancing like a lot of things. I'm like I'll dance to like or just vibe out to like nostalgic like dancehall reggae songs, and people are like, oh my god, I remember this, or they'll be like, my parents used to play this.
back in the day.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I knocked into like a nostalgic.
That's really cool.
Niche on there.
How you been, man? It's been a minute.
Yeah, well, for those that don't know, you should know. Hindsight is here.
This is my third time.
Third time.
Basically like a veteran.
Second time in the studio. This is
a regular guest.
Regular. This is like the second official time.
Yeah.
100%.
First time was special. Too.
First time in the crib, right?
Yeah. That's cool, man. How you been?
I'm good though. I mean, it's the 2020. I feel good. I'm just I'm excited.
What's new?
What's plan?
My plan? Man, just the consistency really.
How's it been going though? For
it's
the past
good.
Couple months.
It's good. Like, I realized I took like a week and a half off from like putting anything out, and I don't like that because as soon as I take a break, I start to procrastinate.
Yeah.
It's like I thought, and I'll be like, I thought I defeated you. Like I thought like I already dealt with you, procrastination. But it's like as soon as you take a break, it's like no, there it is, and then you start to procrastinate your ideas, and then like as time, and then it's like oh no, I gotta nip this in the butt.
Yeah.
But like I don't want to like. I still want to get better on content, so I don't want to be in that frenzy of just like quantity. I want to create content where I'm still like sharpening my skills. So that's the space I'm in. I'm like, how do I create content, get better at the same time, learn new things, but be consistent, and obviously do life, be a father, pay my bills. You know, just the whole nine. It's like hard being a human being sometimes.
Yeah,
it is, man.
There's a lot of things we have to do.
How's the father life been?
That's interesting.
Yeah, your daughter's like, I feel like she's really inspired by you. Like, she's kind of catching on. Like, you always have clips of her kind of like creating her own content.
I feel like,
how does that feel being a father, like seeing your daughter now?
Like make videos and do it, like learn editing.
Some people, actually some people in her family said that. She's like, she must be indirectly or directly like inspired by you.
Yeah. Has to be, man.
It doesn't make any sense.
Think about it. If you weren't creating content, would she be walking that same path?
Right. I mean, she may be. Because, like, I mean, like, everyone creates content now. But I think definitely, like, she's seen me, like, our whole life, like, creating content. And I'm like, I mean, it's like Monday, I pick her up after school. Like, what do you want to do? Let's make some TikToks. Like, I'm like, you know.
That's pretty sick.
I'm not even sending her to go do her homework straight away. I'm like, well, you got to do your homework. Like, but, like.
This is the future.
I'm like, hey, man, like.
This is the real homework.
No, really, because she played a lot of video games. She played a lot of Minecraft and Roblox. And I was like, she told me, she's like, I want to make some money. I'm like, what do you need money for? She's like, just like, I want my own money. And I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, you're 11. And I'm like, I had my first job when I was 16. I was like, yo, when you're 16, there's no reason why you should have to work at McDonald's. Like, I worked at McDonald's, literally, when I was 16 years old.
On foods.
And I'm like, now there's so many opportunities to make money online. Like, there's so many things we can do to get it. But she loved playing games, so I'm setting her up on like live streaming right now, so she could do.
Yeah.
But I told her to go study that. But
how do you make money off Twitch?
You stream while you're playing, and then
your
people do donations.
And I think there's probably ads too.
Yeah,
like and probably monetization.
You can even get into gaming on YouTube. It's getting huge.
So why would someone donate to you?
Because they like watch you play.
They just like you, bro. The internet is a weird place. You can't question it.
There's a lot of like crazy shit that happens.
You cannot question why the internet works. I realize like that's like TikTok. I realize you cannot question. Like my mom was telling me, it's like, why do people like this? I'm like, do not question the internet. It's the wild, wild west.
It is.
It's just it does what it does.
Like, have you ever seen like people sometimes message like the girls will be like, I need some money or something on Twitter.
I know a girl that does that. She'll be like, yo, cash at me. That's what they have Cash App out there.
No pictures, nothing. These guys will just for a conversation we'll send them like 500 to a grand. I'm not even joking.
So some rich Saudi in freaking Dubai.
I don't know, man. It's just anybody, bro. It's weird.
There's actually one girl on YouTube that like she make really good short films, and when she goes on live, I seen her cash out like she doesn't even ask for money. People will just donate it, and she'll like leave with $1,000.
Damn.
Like an hour stream. It's pretty good. People like you. They're like, yo, like what if you love somebody, like you watch their content and you're sitting there and you can like hit a button simple. They just made you feel the way. Like I'm gonna send them $5.
Yeah.
It's like simple. Like your card's already attached basically to the Google or PayPal. You click the token, boom, they just sent you $5 and they're like, they feel good. They're like they want to see you do more of what you do. That's also what it is, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a new like version of like merchandise in a way. Yeah. Because like think about it, you're just donating right away, like you're saying, click of a button. Instead, if somebody has like their own clothing line or something, then you can go. That's how you're helping them. But this is an easier way to help them.
Yeah,
I guess that way you're like really connected with your.
You feel more connected. You're a part of their growth, right?
Like, you can say, like, I was here from the beginning, all that stuff. And the fans, they enjoy that.
It's like Patreon. Have you ever been on Patreon?
I've heard of a Patreon.
It's like YouTube, but people pay to watch your videos. It's like a subscription base.
So, like, a lot of podcasts.
There's podcasts on there that make like 40,000 a month.
Holy shit. So they basically do, like, Andrew Schultz guys. Yeah. They do their podcast, and then they do a Patreon one where they talk even more crazy, and they say the wildest stuff, right? And
people pay.
Yeah. They do a subscription.
Different memberships, like $5 a month, $1 a month.
It's like it's like a podcast. It's like an OnlyFans podcast.
I just discovered what that was. I was like, what's all this OnlyFans? I was like, all these girls I know online have OnlyFans. Like, what is this? Yeah. Then I realized, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because they started doing that. They used to do the Snapchat subscriptions.
I heard about that, but I haven't. I was really never on Snapchat.
Snapchat,
I was never a part of it, really.
Did you have
I heard about that.
Why did you, what? You
I was late to Snapchat, and then I just didn't really like it. And then when Instagram did the whole stories, when Instagram did stories, I'm like, why do I need that? And I got off.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I know people still use it, but to me, I'm just like, what am I going to do on there?
Snapchat.
That's true. I was curious about something. I wanted to ask you this. I was thinking about it because I was thinking about like Kobe's death earlier. How do you deal with like death and stuff? I know this kind of took a weird turn, but
no, it's okay. That's actually an interesting question. Because I used to think something was wrong with me because I never experienced anyone really close to me die. I've known people like extended to me die, like a friend of a friend or someone like I came across with die. And when I would hear about people die, I'd be like, send my condolences. But I would never actually feel like much anything for it. I'm like, oh, they passed. I wouldn't feel pain. Like I know some people hear about someone dying, they're like, oh my God, they're just tripping in sorrow. But I was actually just at a funeral a few weeks ago. One of my friend's father passed away. And first time I was at a funeral and everything's good. I'm fine. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow, like I feel like I really missed some time with his father. Like he used to tell me to come by and check him and I just didn't. And then out of nowhere, a picture of me and him comes up on the screen and I was just like, sad.
Yeah.
It was like the first time I actually like experienced.
The picture slideshow will get you.
Oh man, God, bro, because I wasn't expecting it. As the picture, I'm like, I don't even remember.
You don't want to be at a Brown funeral, dude.
It must be,
Wow.
This guy's a savage, man. Come on, man.
Oh, man. The auntie is not even related to the person and crying most of the time. Man. No, but it's actually, it's crazy. Screams, everything.
No, I bet. There was it was like
it's odd, yeah, for sure.
But that was the first time I experienced like any type of, I guess, sadness.
It's such a shitty feeling, right? Like on the inside.
You feel helpless, kind of, you think?
Yeah, but at the same time, it is like
life.
I know maybe this sounds like the spiritual answer, but like it's like a natural part of life. Like it's the only thing that we all have in common. I feel like is we're gonna die one day.
But then I feel like somewhat of us is also like selfish of like not wanting to let go of that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but maybe there's also regret because one thing I did learn was I was at this funeral and my buddy, it was his father that passed. He did a speech and he says, every night I kiss my father goodnight. When I come in the house, I kiss him and say hello. Yeah. And he's like, I have no regrets about how I love my father. Like I live my moments with him and I always addressed him with love. And he was like, you could feel he was content. So I think when people like, like you say, people are selfish, they don't want to let go. I think maybe there's regret that they didn't get to live the experience they wanted to have with them because, they're on the grind, they miss time out. But when he said that, he's like, I love my father. There's nothing more I could have done. I lived a life with them. There's this honor now. And I was like, man, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful because I know if there's certain people in my life that pass right now, I could not say that. Like, damn, I miss them.
100%.
Same.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's when death hurts is when you can't get the time back.
Yeah.
That you should have filled.
Like even when you say that right now, like you think about it, but then like how Kobe died and everybody was like,
then everybody just forgets.
Keep your clothes.
Well, we have to continue.
Yeah.
And then then you say, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna start doing this. But then all of a sudden life hits you again and you're distracted and boom.
Yeah, I mean, when someone passed, like, people say that, like, oh, someone passed online, we mourn them, and then everyone forgets. But it's like, we had to continue living our life. We're not going to every single day talk about Kobe. But, like, people after Kobe died, I really, like, I started watching all his interviews. Like, a lot of people did.
Yeah.
And then I was really, like, I really was inspired even more. I'm like, I really started to adopt his mentality. I'm like, how can I, bring this Mamba mentality into my life? To me, that's just like the best way to honor him.
100%.
So we had the same discussion.
Yeah. So like, we don't have to talk about him every day, but our actions. And I've done that. Like I literally said, like, what would Kobe do? Man, Kobe would just work right now.
Yeah.
Like he would just grind right now. He wouldn't procrastinate. He would just like defeat it.
Work harder.
Yeah, work harder.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think that's the best way to like
Honor him.
honor Kobe, because that was a blow.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was just so tragic because you look at Kobe and you think like he's so gifted and like he's such an icon. You feel like God has like his finger on him at all times. Like he's like
invincible.
Yeah, like he's kind of like God's like he's like one of my VIP homies. Yeah. You know? So to see him go so tragic with his daughter, you're just like,
what the hell?
Anybody can get it.
Anybody, yeah.
You know, like no one's invincible.
Yeah.
That was what like really hit, I feel.
Yeah.
Then it's just like, whoa, like, yeah, anything can happen anytime.
Yeah. Man.
I'm grateful to even get back.
Kind of makes you slow down though. Kind of
Yeah.
just like take a step back, look at life.
Oh yeah, a lot of me and my homies were texting each other like, I love you. Like people started really checking in on each other, like like, oh man, like
only Kobe could do that too. Right?
Yeah,
I don't
There's
really
a certain
see.
power,
I don't really
right?
see anybody else texting their homies "I love you" because if anybody else passed away, maybe like Michael Jackson for like older generation or something like that. Right. But I don't know, man. Kobe Bryant was different. Like in the Mucho Burrito lineup, you see a brown guy. Usually they give you like a weird look or something. I'm wearing a Kobe Bryant jersey. You know how like how we live in Surrey. Everybody knows.
You guys do that?
We don't do it personally, but like, I'm saying,
black people, there's not a lot of us, so we see each other. We're like,
yeah,
I got you, bro.
See a sing, salute a sing. But yeah, but basically, you're not always like interactive with like you just kind of look around, see your surroundings. But I don't know, people coming like up and had full conversations about him the day after, and it's just crazy to see. Like I've never seen that in my life. I've never had a full like, well, I probably have, but like I've never like it doesn't work like that usually. You just kind of mind your own business, go on with your day.
It brought people together for sure.
100%. Yeah.
I appreciate his mind. I didn't realize I'll be honest, I didn't realize his mind until after he passed. Like I never really watched his interviews. I just watched him play basketball. I saw him as like an amazing athlete.
Player,
But I just never realized the mentality. Like obviously there's the mentality, but just like to hear him speak, I was like, bro, you were in another mental arena. You were a beast. Like you were very like there too, in tune.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I really
apparently he had like secret letters that he left for his like daughters, and he had like written a bunch of them.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I read that online. It was talking about how he left like secret letters for his daughters, just
in case.
That's just crazy to have that in your mind that one day this can happen to me, and like
man was prepared.
He was prepared.
Yeah.
For any situation. That's crazy.
I heard him. He was talking about when he hurt his knee one time, and he wasn't like really playing much basketball. And while he was like out, he started taking ballet, so he could like strengthen his toes and stuff. Yeah, it's like that's just like a beast. Like most people are like, that's a different mentality, you know?
That's crazy.
So I try to make myself remember that, like, oh, I can't do this. Like Kobe went and did ballet. Like you could do something.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of football players do ballet too.
Do
offensive linemen and defensive linemen because their footwork.
Yeah, okay.
So that's basically why they do
thing,
it.
huh?
But
that's
probably he probably saw a lot of offensive linemen because they're so big, right? But they got to be so like nimble on their feet. So ballet works for them.
I respect athletes a lot.
Are you still rock climbing?
Yeah.
How's that?
That's blessed. That's like my meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go throw on my AirPods, climb. It's blessed.
I've been getting into a lot of meditation.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yo, you guys gotta talk about this shit, yo. You guys gotta have a little conversation. I'm gonna sit back and relax.
I've been trying to be consistent.
Yeah.
So every morning before I like wake up for work, I try to kind of like meditate. So
how long do you meditate for? Do you have like a set time?
So basically, when I first started, I was only like 5 minutes, but now I can like close my eyes and focus and meditate for like a good 20 minutes.
That's solid, bro.
Yeah.
That's really good.
You loved it.
You love it, huh?
Man, I love it.
It sets your day up.
It gives me power for the day. I feel like so ready.
There you go. You loop that. That's your clip right there. This guy just dropped a bar.
Yeah. It's insane, bro. Like I feel ready for the day.
It's going on TikTok.
I feel more focused. Right? More focused and like I don't know, it's just amazing. It's like a high that's better than any other like shit out there. You know what I mean?
This guy's really meditating. I love it. That's amazing. Yeah. The consistency is the powerful part about it.
It's hard though to be consistent because there's times where like I'll be like kind of lazy about it.
Yeah.
But I try to. So I've been actually sitting down with a friend of mine, and he's into meditation a lot.
Yeah.
And basically he's like, he just kind of reminds me that, you know, you can't let your mind control you. You have to be in control of your mind. So your mind constantly kind of, you know, wants you to trip out, wants you to not close your eyes, and wants you to, you know, throws a million other things that you're thinking about. But he's like trying to get in control of that moment and just closing your eyes and trying to focus on nothing. Bro, it's an amazing feeling.
That felt like a guided meditation right there.
Yeah, it's just like emptying your brain.
I just wanted to close my eyes and be like, yes. There's an app. Have you ever checked out there's an app? I know it sounds weird to have an app for meditation, but it's called Insight Timer.
I've heard of that.
So it's like a community of people who meditate. It's kind of like an Instagram for meditation.
Yeah.
And like you in the morning, you just set your meditation timer. There's like different sounds, or you don't have to do a sound, but it keeps track of your consistency, and like it gives you rewards. So like you almost don't want to break it because you're like, fuck, I'm like at 23 days. Like if I break it, I'm gonna lose that streak.
Yeah.
And then every time you get to like a new thing, you get like these like stripes and these rewards.
Holds you accountable.
And then every time you're done meditating, it shows the people around you in the area that are meditating. So people, you can hit like a button that says like, thanks for meditating with me. So it's like a conscious like social networking thing. And then people share guided meditation. I'm actually gonna start putting content on there. But people share guided meditations or sounds and things like that. And it's a pretty good community. And I'd say it kind of helps with the accountability.
It's called Insight?
Yeah, Insight Timer. It's actually fire. It's like really good. It's a big community on there, like low key.
So you can like share, videos, and then you also...
Not videos, all audio.
Audio.
Okay. So like, yeah, people will give, you can listen, I don't listen to guided meditations, but you can put those on. Even people like, there's a little podcast material put on there, like insights, you know, even like Sadhguru and stuff is on there. Or you can just like set your timer and just meditate to nothing, but it just keeps track of your meditations, and then you get like these little badges. And I've done it where you don't want to lose your consistency. I've been out like 55 days and be like, I don't want to meditate, but I'm like, I'm gonna read. I'm like, I got my badges right now. Yeah, so it's cool.
What about you? Like, how long can you meditate for? Can you keep it like? Can you keep yourself zoned in for a bit?
Yeah, I don't know like how long. I don't really put a stress on like how long I'm meditating for. Like maybe today's 5 minutes, maybe tomorrow's 20 minutes, maybe one day I meditate 3 days, maybe I don't. But even sometimes my meditations aren't that great. Like I find even if I'm thinking, I'm like cool. But as long as I'm consistent, then I know maybe like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday they weren't the greatest. But by Thursday, I'm probably gonna be good.
It's like one of the
It's practice too, right?
It's practice, right? Like you don't.
That's what most people say about it. Yeah.
People think you meditate and it's just supposed to be completely silent. Like if I'm meditating the whole time I was thinking, I'm not hard on myself. Like I didn't meditate. No, I still sat down. It's just there's a lot to clear out.
It's like going to the gym basically. People want results right away.
You want results, and even if you haven't been in the gym for a while, like the first day you go, you're not as strong, right? But after you build up that strength, you're like, yo, these pull-ups are easy.
It takes time.
So it's the same thing. I don't get hard on myself. I don't complicate it. I don't have no wild breathing techniques. It's just to me, it's about doing nothing and just being still. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it sets up the foundation for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Yeah, this guy, he's been doing it for a couple months now?
Yeah, I've been trying to stay consistent. That's the hardest part, being consistent with it. But, like, you know, when
that's the hardest part in anything.
The feeling you get, though, out of it makes you want to constantly keep going at it, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Imagine you do it for life.
Exactly.
Right? But consistency is
the goal,
the hardest with anything. Because even when I stop meditating and I go back, I'm like, why did I stop? I'm like, this is so good. Like, why would I ever stop? But there's been times where I like stopped meditating for a few weeks.
How has it affected like how did it affect you like before you started meditating and then after?
To me, like he said, it's like it's just like a foundation for the day. Like I meditate mainly in the morning or like if I need a break. But you know, if I get up and I don't do it, I'm probably more distracted for the day. And last time we were here, we were talking about like being focused. So that's like setting the intention to be focused that day. Like if I start my day on my phone, I'm definitely not as focused. Like the day is just not, I know no matter how hard I try, it's not going to be as great as it was going to be if I started off with a meditation. Right? So it's the root.
So the focus you still think is the future?
What do you mean? Of course. That's of course. You have to 100%, man. That's like a lot. Everyone's still losing it. It's getting worse.
It's getting worse every day.
I think I posted that on my Instagram stories. I'm like, who feels like they're struggling with focus? It was like 99.9% of people were like, yo, me.
Bro, it's brutal. It's hard at times. Because, like I said, I deactivated my Instagram. But I remember a few days after, probably for a week, I'd wake up and the first thing I was in a habit of doing was clicking my Instagram app.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not good.
It was so bad, but
I do it
now like I
sometimes.
finally snapped out of that habit.
Yeah.
And now I've realized like I'm more focused on what's present, what's around me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Because I was so distracted by like everything on social media, I felt.
Mhm.
Like subconsciously I was trying to like live out someone else's life.
Right,
You
right,
know?
right. Well, it's designed, I think, to do that. Right, it's designed to take.
It's
our
designed to
attention.
like compare yourself, kind of too. You think?
I don't know if it's designed like that.
Well, not
I think
designed, but do
I
you
think
think
it's like
like
an effect of it.
yeah,
I think it's an
It's a
effect
side
of it. But I
effect,
mean, we
right?
do
Yeah.
that anyway. I mean, you could go to the gym and compare yourself to someone else in the gym. Be like,
Mhm.
damn, that dude's cut up. You can
Yeah.
go like compare yourself who's got a nice car. I think that's just like almost in our nature to like, you know, kind of
Constantly,
scoping out the competition, right? But I think on Instagram, it's just like the whole world is exposed. You can see like the best of the best. When you're walking around the street, you're not gonna see like 10 million millionaires traveling the world, living their best
Yeah.
life with like the baddest things. Like, you know,
You're more exposed to reality.
you're more exposed. Yeah, reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like even what you're saying, like the comparing thing, it's like sometimes when you're like, okay, well, like that guy has that, like, but he probably did that to get that. Like, how do you get rid of that? Or do you think it's, or like, you know, how you're saying scoping out the competition?
don't
Do you
know.
think it's a bad
I
thing?
think it comes down to focus.
I mean, maybe ask yourself why you're comparing yourself. Like, what is
Mhm.
it about them that you admire? And then now use that as motivation. Like, if I look at someone and I'm like, man, that person's in great shape, I can't be sad about it unless I want to go to the gym and put in the work. Or if a dude has like, you know, success or a beautiful, I love homes. Someone has a really nice home. I'm not going to compare myself and feel bad about it. I'm going to be like, okay, how do I motivate myself now? How do I do that? I mean, if you compare yourself and you just feel bad about it all the time, then you're not doing the work. If you're working towards whatever you want, you just have to be patient then. And then,
It takes
you know,
time.
yeah, I mean, focusing on the results is like the worst thing ever. Anytime I focus on the results, it just kills everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really have to love the process. But who says that? Gary Vee does say that. He's always saying love the process. He's right though.
Mhm.
Now I realize I'm like, that guy's right about a lot of
Yeah,
shit.
he's been right about.
He's
a lot.
been right about a lot. I've been like
I
pushed
feel like
back on
I-
a lot of things he
yeah.
says, but I realize I'm like, oh, you right.
I feel like I got
He's right,
used to
yeah.
get annoyed by him because I
Yes.
was doing the shit that he
Yes,
said.
that's what it was. And then you realize he's right. Yes.
I was like, oh fuck.
Then I'm like, oh, you right.
He's right.
You're
But
right.
I feel like there's so many people that are right, but like I've seen so much of this motivational stuff that I've become numb to it.
Really?
It doesn't hit me as much as it used to. Before you'd
Mm.
see some quote, it's a rare quote or something on Instagram, and you'd be like, whoa.
It's still
Yeah.
good for me because you have to put it into action.
Yeah.
Like he says, a lot of people aren't on TikTok because they're too afraid of what people are gonna think.
100%.
100%.
That's us. That's
Right?
me.
And he's like,
Yeah.
they're gonna miss out on an opportunity.
Yeah.
And he was talking about TikTok a lot. I'm like, yeah, let me go try this. Let me see this. Oh shit. He's right.
Yeah.
It's amazing over here.
Yeah.
It's working. Cool.
TikTok's a beast.
Yeah. And he's right about a lot of things. He's right about he's right about a lot of things. Dropping things.
Yeah, because I was watching him for a long time, like maybe like 2 or 3 years now,
Right.
and then I just stopped because I was just like, yo, man,
Because
can't handle this shit
everything he
anymore.
says is so extreme. It's
Yeah.
like you have to do so much.
Why is this guy
basically.
being so mean to me? Oh,
Right.
through a screen.
Yeah, it makes you insecure because he's
Yeah.
calling you out, basically.
Well,
Yeah.
his main message I find is like compassion, have compassion for yourself, and patience, and love the process. It's like he's almost like a digital, like social media guru. Like he's really actually preaching like
Yeah.
wholesome things,
Mhm.
but he's just doing it in like a different space.
Different space.
He's not meditating, saying like have
Yeah.
compassion. He's like, have compassion for yourself. Stop being so hard and stop caring about yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Have patience. This is not gonna happen overnight. You know, and just
Don't
you
care
can-
what others think.
Don't care. That's
That's
what-
like a major,
right.
major.
That's
one.
that's the most powerful thing I've been able to do in the past year is my level of just not giving a fucks is out the roof.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Like I'm winning. I'm starting to win
Yeah.
because of it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? Because I don't give a fuck.
How did you work on that? Or
I don't
did
know.
You just
Bro, it's like
It just
you were saying
happens.
What Kobe said. What did Kobe say? About when they're like, oh, when you're taking like a free throw, are you worried about what the crowd?
oh, okay. So basically, Kobe he shot 5 air balls, right? You might, if you watch the interviews, you might have seen this one because he was talking about he shot 5 air balls in the playoff game and they lost, right?
Oh,
And he's saying like, okay, he's like, well, what's gonna happen? People are gonna talk bad about me.
Mhm.
He's like, after that, nothing else is gonna happen. He's like, what do you do when you take a shit?
mm-hmm.
He's like, are you gonna stare at it or are you gonna flush it and move on?
right.
So that's basically it, right? And he was saying that, okay, so now I'm gonna look at the problem. I'm gonna see what I did wrong. He's like, if you go watch all 5 of the 3-pointers, everything was on point. 100%, they would have been on. He's like, but there wasn't enough power. So what do I gotta do? I gotta work on my legs.
Right.
So then he works on his
I
legs.
did see that. Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, I gotta go do strength and conditioning now.
Right.
I gotta go get a new coach. I gotta
Right.
do this. I gotta do that. So instead of just saying, oh, everybody's gonna talk shit about me. Oh, I'm gonna be sad. I have an excuse now, right?
He used it.
He used it. Okay, let's see what I do. All right, let's see them talk shit about me next year, right?
Right, and he became better for it.
Exactly, kind of like what you're saying, right?
100%. Because I mean, I've been there where you're like a little bit too afraid to like, put something out or like express yourself in a certain way. But it just hinders your growth, 100%. It just hinders your growth. And that's the same thing with TikTok. A lot of people won't go there because it's like most people on there are being silly, right? And they're like, oh my God, if I go there, what are people going to think?
Judge.
Yeah, like everybody, because the stigma's like his for kids or something like that.
But it's not. Like the amount of adults. Like,
I saw a grandma on there making
bro,
cornbread.
the amount of adults.
I swear to God,
Bro, there's grandmas.
yeah.
And that's why that
It
app,
looked
that's why
delicious.
that app is going to win because that app has kids.
Yeah.
It has grandparents. It has like teenagers. It has adults. And also has families intertwining with like I've never seen an app where families create content together. Where families do things together.
We were thinking about that, making a joint TikTok account.
You see
That's
what I
it.
mean?
Bang. There it
Instagram
is,
not
yeah.
doing that. Like me, I'm like, you're not gonna see like you and your mom have an Instagram account together. This is not gonna happen.
You're not.
But TikTok is a different type of beast, right? That's why I'm like, it has a culture on it. That's why it's gonna win. So the fact that people aren't on there, Gary Vee's right. It's like people are just missing a golden opportunity because they're worried about what people think.
Yeah.
And then you don't deserve the opportunity if you're there.
Yeah, you missed out. Like you can't say later
Yeah.
on.
But it could be
oh,
another 10 years till something like TikTok comes around.
TikTok was around and didn't.
It's been
it-
around for years.
Was it?
It was
just,
Musically.
like
It was Musically.
okay.
It was a different app, and then it got bought, and then they turned it into TikTok, and it's still been around for a couple of years, but it was quiet.
Quiet.
It was just big with the kids.
Do you think it could turn into like a Vine situation in 10
No.
years? No?
It's too big already.
Too big.
Too big, and it's the way they designed it. It's too good. Every day I see more celebrities on there. So like Chance the Rapper hopped on, Tory Lanez hopped on, DJ Khaled's on there. Everyone's
Honestly,
on there.
I haven't seen friends around me that I never expect to have it on. They're showing me on.
Bro, it's addicting, and it's
Yeah.
actually entertaining. It's funny. Like there's people on there where you just die laughing. Like it's funny.
You're on there?
Bro, this guy says he watches a lot. He's like, I'm on there. Bro, it's funny. It's funny as hell. And like you can like really grow on there.
Yeah.
It's like it's nice to be able to like create something and watch it. Have an opportunity.
TikTok tonight.
The people from India are so jokes.
Bro, India TikTok
India's
is
a
the business.
Big market.
No,
Oh, I didn't
India
know
has
about
the
that.
most people on TikTok.
Oh really?
Yes.
Oh,
So
oh
even-
yeah, because they make those stupid ass videos. I've
But,
seen
yo,
those.
I mean, those are kind of funny.
Even for Decibel, I
Yeah.
started their TikTok, and I just been posting simple like dance off clips. Already 10,000 followers in the
Oh
month.
shit.
Damn.
Those views are like 700,000, 500,000, 600,000. They're getting like thousands of shares.
And that's just a dance.
And that's because
that's not even like people from here.
No,
because
I'm
people from
targeting,
here,
and I'm
yeah.
just targeting all the India hashtags too. So like I really like
We gotta
me.
do that.
I went over on TikTok and I took over all the hashtags that would fit in my niche. So I was like reggae, dancehall, Afro beats, Africa, Nigeria. Like if you go search any of those hashtags, I'm the top video for everything. I'm like the biggest. My videos are the biggest ones in Nigeria. My videos are the biggest ones for Jamaica. Mine are the biggest for Ghana.
That's crazy.
Yes, because I'm like, oh, these are
Hey.
yeah. I'm like, oh, these are still kind of quiet over here. Let me take over these. Boom, boom, boom. Even like Davido, like Mr. Easy, all these big artists.
Yeah.
If you search their hashtag names, it's not even them. It's me.
So you just search up some random countries.
Okay, so how would we
Like-
put a podcast up there? Let's just say we're like
Just like how you do it on Instagram.
just 1 minute clips.
I would do it less than 1 minute.
Okay.
Unless like you can figure, because TikTok works like this. Like watch time is pretty important. So if someone watches your 1 minute clip and they only get 10 seconds in, the algorithm's like, get this out of here. Because like I said, everyone has an opportunity. Everyone gets to the For You page, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how people engage with that in like the first little while determines like if it's content that should go to like a bigger pool of people, right? And then it keeps kind of getting upgraded. So it's like when it's getting good engagement, it's like, okay, this is good content, it seems. Let's push it to more people. So if you post a minute clip and it's like not going to be engaging off the top and then people aren't watching it, then the algorithm's like, people aren't watching this.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
The shorter content works unless you can like create a story in it, or like there's different ways to keep people engaged. Like you learn, but you can't just like create something. You couldn't make like a music video and then put it on TikTok. You got to think about the platform. Like you can't go to like a vegan restaurant and try to sell fish.
Yeah.
You have to like think about the platform and what the platform likes and like the format of it. Like, don't post a video that's horizontal.
Yeah.
It should be vertical.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what I did. I'm like, me and my homie were talking about TikTok, and we're like, he's like, man, it's stupid. And I'm like, but we have to be missing something. There can't be like 800 million people on this app.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I'm like, I'm like, because you're sitting there judging, like, man, these kids are stupid. Everyone's dumb. And I'm like thinking there, I'm like, no. I'm missing something. So I'm like, let me make a TikTok. Because before I posted a couple of videos just from my YouTube. I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me actually like do what they're doing. Let me make something for the platform. I made something. It was like 50,000 views. I'm like, I'm in. Let's do this. Like,
that's it.
Yeah, and it was actually fun. I was like, oh, this is actually fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you're having fun on there.
Bro, because it's like you get to be yourself. And like,
yeah, you're getting people coming in now.
And it's just fun.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's actually, it's the best app for social media right now.
What are you saying, man? Should we hop on?
Bro, you have to.
Yeah.
You're wasting your time if you're not. Like, even these clips should be going on. Just make them vertical. Right?
Damn, you're right.
But even like these podcasts, like, I feel like you guys should post way more clips from them. Do like hour-long podcast. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Just clips of them, man.
Because I feel like, this is my opinion.
All right, let's
when
hear
I
it.
watch you guys do a podcast, I see like one clip from that podcast go on your Instagram feed.
Yeah.
But it's an hour-long podcast. There's got to be at least 10 clips that you can pull from there.
So you think we should be posting like at least?
Like on the feed?
Yes. You should be posting way more. What's the point?
That's a good point.
That's actually so.
Because even like, okay, let's go back. We'll go back to Gary Vee.
I got like 16 clips on my
We'll go back to
phone,
Gary,
but only one got
We'll go back to
posted.
Gary Vee.
Yeah.
He even says like when you create a content podcast, that's like an hour long. You could pull like 15 pieces of content from that. That's why podcast is such great content, because you're doing long form content. But we all know it's very hard to get someone to come listen to a podcast for an hour.
It is, man.
So when you pull one clip, you think that's the clip. That might not be the clip. It may actually be something else we talked about that hooks somebody in. So the more you post from that podcast, the more opportunities you're gonna have people go listen to the full thing. Pulling one clip is just being very subjective to what you think is
what
the
we
hook.
think, yeah.
Yes,
That's a bias,
that's very bad game to play, because I realize, like we said, the internet's the wild, wild west.
It is.
They will decide.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I couldn't predict that me dancing, busting a wine on TikTok was gonna do what it did. Right?
And it
if I try,
yeah.
but you can't predict. You can't predict this stuff. You can't predict how the internet works. Like, the internet's gonna choose what it likes.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, they get to choose.
Yeah, well,
right?
we only posted one clip
Fuck,
of it.
man.
because even when
And we
I
have like an hour long,
I
and
post
realistically, who's really listening to the whole hour?
bro, you should be
Yeah.
literally posting like 15 clips from every podcast, like, because there's so much content. Like, and who cares? Like,
You don't lose anything.
you don't lose anything.
Nothing
Fuck
to
what the
lose.
feed looks like.
Yeah.
I used to care about what the feed looked like.
That's
I was
what
like,
I like. I like that too.
yeah, I like, because I'm like, oh, but then I wouldn't post, and then like, I think even again that guy's he's right. Gary Vee, he's like, people won't post because they want to make their feed all look good, and I'm like,
yeah.
that is almost literally stupid. I get it, but it's not a museum, right? Like, it makes more sense to just be posting content.
Yeah.
Like, just
That's
share
what
the
it's for.
Yeah.
People don't actually care about your feed. They may look at it for a
Yeah.
second, but they're not like, oh yeah, it is.
And
No,
on
they care
Instagram-
about the content that's
Yeah.
being shared, not about how it looks on your feed. That's just you caring about how people perceive you.
Yeah.
And that's what I realized. I'm like, oh, you're just trying to keep it a certain aesthetic so you could be looked at in a certain way. I'm like, that's stupid, man. Like, the content is in what you're sharing. So
Very
share
true,
more.
yeah.
And that's why I like doing podcast content on my own, because if I even do a 10-minute clip, I'm like, oh, that's like 7 pieces of content, right?
Yeah.
Like, right there. That's 7 posts. And, you know, you can also do is now there's like, there's a website called Later. It's a local company from Vancouver that partnered with Instagram. They post everything for you. You just schedule it in. You don't even have to do it no more. Oh, it's amazing.
Promotion.
It's amazing.
Later.
Yeah, and you can schedule the whole week. So you do this one podcast. There's 15 clips from it. You sit down on Sunday. You program the times. It's gonna completely do it for you, and you don't even have to open your Instagram. Just post it all week for you,
That'd be nice,
That's
because then
it.
I can get off.
bro. That's how I ran that for a minute, just testing it. I'm like, this is amazing. I could post like 3-5 times a day.
Damn.
Then you're not worried about the
You're not even
comments.
exactly. You're not even thinking about it.
You might lose a few followers because people kind of like, oh, why is
Who
that?
cares?
But then those are the people that
But
you
you're
don't
gonna
want
get-
there.
But you're gonna gain.
You
so
want to
much
lose
more.
those followers
Yeah.
because you want to wean out the people that aren't with you
That aren't
anyways.
there, yeah.
You want to attract your tribe. Everyone don't have to like you, and that's the problem That's how you
want everyone to like you. It's a problem.
That's how people, when you care what people think, is because you want everyone to like you.
Person,
to me, I'm like, let me be authentically myself, undeniable, so the people who don't like me can get the fuck out the way. I don't expect everyone to like me.
No. I actually had this conversation with myself the other day.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God, yo. I was thinking about it, and I was just like, yo, like, not everybody likes everyone. And I was like, why?
Because you don't like everyone either.
I don't like everyone.
Right?
And I don't like a lot of people.
But if you fake the funk trying to please everyone, you're entertaining people who don't even actually like you.
They're just there,
it's better for them to get out the way so the people who love you can come closer.
Very true.
100%.
Facts, bro. And that's how you have to look at the internet.
That's a gem right there, man.
Yeah, that's a good one. You gotta look. See, that's a clip. You
gotta
gotta
put
TikTok.
That's it.
That's an everything.
Everything.
You gotta put
that was dope.
That one, run it on everything. But that's how you do that. Detach.
That's so true, bro.
What?
Like, we do need to throw more out there.
Yeah.
100%. I was on another podcast. I said the same thing. I was like, this is a podcast. You should be throwing just so much content from this. So much. And we don't we don't know what someone was going to resonate with.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people resonate with the weirdest things. Like, I put things out and I'm like, I don't even like this. And someone's like, yo, you said that. I'm like, really? That caught you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know. You don't know.
Well, something that you like doesn't mean somebody else is going to like
Exactly. And that's why I realized, like, the more content you put out, the market's going to tell you what they like. So then you start to understand your base more. Mm-hmm. I actually know kind of now, like, certain things I say or certain things I put out, I know, like, oh, the women are going to like this one because they've shown me what kind of content they like.
Mm-hmm.
The more content I put out, I understand my audience. And then I can actually create content for my audience. And I know how to promote my content better because I've been putting out more content and I've been, like, basically doing my own market research. Oh, for some reason, like, when I say these things or do these things, these kind of people like it. When I do this, they like it. When I do this, it gets great. If I post something with me and my daughter, it's going to be like, I already know that.
Yeah.
I already know certain levels of, like, whatever, like,
does
does certain things. I know if I talk about certain something, this demographic likes that. But if I only put out one piece of content, like, every so often, I wouldn't have that market research.
You want to have all that, yeah. So
Yeah.
now you can kind of play with it.
Yeah, because you're just putting more out. Like, I used to do the same thing. I create something and I take the best clip I thought was the best clip. But that's just what I think.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
And I
That's
hate
what we
it.
do, yeah.
I hate how I look every time and I have to watch it and I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
Exactly. So, like, if
I'll ask these guys, even you've done clips before. It's the hardest thing ever. It's like, okay,
we're
well,
thinking, what is the best
one?
Right?
Not
But then,
let's put all of them out there.
right, because you're asking people to come listen to an hour podcast.
That's crazy though, because I had a friend who messaged me, and the clip we posted was nothing like he liked something completely different, like a different part of that podcast.
Yeah.
And he was talking to me about that, but the clip we posted was completely different.
There's probably, if someone listened to the podcast, 10 different people, it's possible that 80% of them all like something completely different in this conversation.
Yeah.
Something may have been like, oh, like that. It was more funny. Maybe something was like a bar, and then someone's like, yo, that meditation, I needed it. You got to post.
Because people are in different, like, places in their life.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? Maybe someone just wants to laugh, right? So, like,
it's like, honestly, and so, oh, fuck, this guy's
Someone's
talking
on that
about
meditation trend,
Right, like, if somebody has a bad day, they're like, oh, I don't want to hear this shit right now. And the other guy's like, okay,
but that happens.
yeah.
That does
Sometimes you're on
happen.
Instagram and you're like, yo, I don't want to hear this shit.
just
So you're
shut
like,
up.
Just that day, yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe
Yeah.
a month later, you might want that
Then
day.
you'll come back to it and be like,
Exactly.
okay, I need this in my life. You never know.
That's why, like, you just put more out. That's why I realized, I'm like, you just put more out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. Like, you just put more out.
Damn, you've done your research, eh? You know your.
So the thing is, more content is better then.
It is, because, and especially in the beginning, especially when you don't have a base, because the more you put out, the more opportunity you have.
So all this Gary Vee, more is like.
He's actually fucking right. And I don't even like to admit it, but he's right. Because
Me
I was testing it.
But why don't you like to admit it? Like, why?
The way he approaches
Yeah,
it,
you know, because you're just like,
it's
because
annoying.
also, like, I recognize myself as an artist. So, like, he has this whole thing where he would say, document, don't create, which is, like, almost counterintuitive to, like, my belief system. To me, I like to create. I like to make things look good, sound good, and creation takes a certain amount of time. And he says, document, don't create, because documenting doesn't take as much thought or time. But I get it. Like, when I did a month, I did content every single day. I put out a video every single day. And when I did that, I understood what he was saying. I'm like, oh, I get it. Like, one, I'm not procrastinating because I'm constantly putting content out. Two, when I put it out, people are telling me what they like. So I have more information. I can create better content. And at least I'm always in motion to creating my best piece of work.
Yeah.
Again, like it happens all the time. The things I love the most get slept on. And the things I didn't really care about, that was the one. I could have never predicted that. So I just put things out and detach. That's the strongest. Put it out and detach from it. Don't care what it does. Because when you're putting out more content, when you only put out one podcast every so while or one clip, you're attached to the results of that one clip.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, so, like, the one last podcast we did for, like, a while, like, what was the last one before the Johnny one was the Randy one, right? That was that one there, and that one was wild, super conservative, right-winged
Really?
podcast. You guys should sit together, that'd be sick.
That'd be fire. Let's do it.
Yo.
Yeah, I think that'd be
That
dope.
would fire, yo. Randy and Hindz, yo, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, like, he's, like, different, like, he's sick of, he has, like, different opinions, and he just let it out and like what he was talking about, but that thing sat there. The thing is, and we just like, okay, so then 1 week goes by, you're still posting the same clips from last week.
Right.
2 weeks go by, this 2 weeks ago I'm not gonna post anything, and then nothing
right.
happens, and then it's like that's the only thing that sits there, and then even opportunities come up,
Right.
and then it's like, well, what do you have to offer? You haven't done anything in 2
That's the
days.
facts. That's the facts. And you're attached. That's when I would only create something every so often. I would be attached to it because I'm like, this is my baby.
Yeah.
But if you're just putting things out, like when I do, I'll automate my Instagram sometimes for the week. I'm like, I have a lot of content here, automate it, boom, let it go, and then I'll go check it like at the end of the day or the next day. Everybody that showed love, I show my love back, give my thanks, and keep it moving. But because there's content like 3 posts, 4 posts going on a day, I don't like maybe 3 posts did bad, what I think is bad.
Yeah.
And then 1 did really well, right? Even on TikTok, I would do that. I would post like 4 or 5 times a day. Some like would get like maybe like 5,000, 10,000. Then 1 would get like 200,000. It's like whatever, and you just keep going. Like you just keep going. Whatever.
There's nothing wrong. That's makes sense because it's like if you put more onto the feed, your followers.
And you gotta look at what the big dogs are doing. Like Joe Rogan, that guy's from his podcast. He doesn't post 1 clip. He's got the JRE clips. He posts like 50.
That thing is crazy.
Right? And there's something in those podcasts for everybody. Like there's, I don't click on all the clips, only certain ones that catch my thumbnails. Like that catch my eye. Oh, that topic, I want to hear about that. And then someone else wants to hear about that one. But ultimately, if they like that clip, they're all going back and watching the mothership.
Yeah, because there's times where we will listen to a clip, we'll start watching it, we'll be like,
yo, that's sick. We gotta
and then
finish
sometimes
this.
we'll be like, oh, that's dope. We're gonna listen to this, right?
Yeah.
That's actually very true.
Yeah. Quantity. It's actually in this era.
And even like Andrew Schultz, he does the same thing too, that we were talking about before. That guy is like.
And I watched his progression. I remember he wasn't even putting out content, and then he decided to do 1 piece a week on every Sunday. Then after a while, 1 actually sparked off, and then now he like floods the system. He got a couple podcasts. He's flooding content. He's just killing it.
We're
now.
actually supposed to go to the show. We're gonna make it there.
I missed it.
Yeah, we're supposed to go. And we're actually gonna film it.
Really?
Yeah.
Him and Charlemagne have been killing it
yeah.
though.
I've been listening to their podcast since it started.
Brilliant.
They talk about some real stuff.
About 6 years I've been listening to it.
Yeah.
It was actually what got me interested in doing podcasts.
Well, I was gonna ask about speaking of Charlemagne was talking about this morning. Like, did you see the thing about Dwayne Wade's kid?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Do you see what Boozy said about it?
Man, that was
Did
crazy.
you see that?
What did you think about that whole situation?
That was fucking crazy. Dude, he's like.
Repeat it.
Dude, I'm not gonna say that, man.
No,
you can put the clip up for something, but like you just like.
No, okay, I remember what happened because I watched
let's
both ends. I saw Dwayne Wade talk about what's going on with his son, and his son identifies as
a she.
A she.
Yeah.
Right, and then Lil Boosie posted a video like, no, like
don't
you can't
cut his dick off,
right,
man.
But, okay, so here's the thing is like, yeah. Well, but he never said anything about doing that though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he never said anything about doing that.
Right. So actually, like, I heard Dwayne Wade's child speak in a video, and the kid was very conscious.
Yeah.
Like before, I had like me. I have a kid, right? So I've had these conversations with people, and there's a lot of kids who go through these transitions and what. And I'm pretty firm on the fact that if I have a child and they wanted to, they identify as another sex, cool, but definitely while you're a child or a teenager or whatever it is, I don't know what the rules are, I wouldn't be assisting you to have a medical procedure to transition anything.
100%.
That would have to be when you're an adult.
Agreed.
Right? Because someone on Joe Rogan was arguing about that, how people are doing that with their kids, but like what if they do want to reverse back, right? Because there's actually, I've watched videos online of people who have transitioned and then later in life wanted to transition back because they realized it was something else.
They have a higher rate of suicide too.
Right. But these are real experiences, right? People do identify as a different sex, and those are validated. Those are real. But I think Lil Boosie just jumped way too far ahead in the sense of Dwayne Wade never talked about the transition. He just talked about like, this is how his kid feels. And when I heard his kid speak, I was like, it changed my perspective, because I was like, that kid seems pretty like conscious and confident and
knows what he's talking about.
Right. Yeah. And at the end of the day, like, I can't sit back and judge. It's like, yo, you're gonna do. But
I think he's fully accepted it.
To me, that's his kid. So I don't really want to judge the way that you raise your children, because I don't want somebody judging me the way that I raise my children.
And you're not like, he knows his kid's heart. So he's like, he's looking at his kid, hearing his kid out. He's like, yo, okay. Like, I'm here with you. He's supporting, you know? Yeah. Lil Boosie. Yeah. But
if he talked about the transition, it would be different,
right.
Though. It'd be different. I think, I don't know. I would kind of agree.
What Lil Boosie's speaking on is also a debate too, right? Like, people saying that there should be a certain age
where you can get these.
Some people think there shouldn't. I think there should be.
I think there should be.
Because at the same time, it's like, yeah, I think there should be. But some people will disagree.
It's like for anything else. Like, a kid that's 12 years old can't go get a tattoo, right?
Yeah, people argue that argument.
But even say he's like 12-year-old, don't even know where their next meal's coming from.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, he's right on that. Yeah. I mean, Lil Boosie is allowed to have that opinion. Yeah. The thing I don't like is that people don't allow people to have their opinions anymore. So Lil Boosie, there's no reason why you should even be coming out and speak, but you are valued to have that opinion. If you believe that is wrong, you're allowed to think that, I think. As long as you're not like going out trying to like hurt anybody or stop anybody, like personally attack. Yeah. But if you just believe like, hey, I don't believe that, that's your beliefs. Because I don't know where those beliefs come from. They can come from like a religious background. They can come from whatever. You're allowed to disagree on that. 100%. You know? Like, people will demonize him now because he's not evolved or he's not with the times. He's not woke, PC. But at the same time,
I think certain people will.
I guess I'm on Twitter, so I see like a large discussion. Yeah. I see
even Charlamagne,
I see the loud discussion.
Charlamagne just said like, I don't want to judge other parents, but I know like when it comes to the transition thing, he does. I think he was being a little bit PC this morning.
Yes.
But that's why, because a lot of people, I was even reading comments and stuff like, yo, he's like not saying how he really feels.
I think,
but because that's also when he's on the Breakfast Club though.
Oh, he's on the Breakfast Club.
Yeah. But when he's on Brilliant Idiots, it's sometimes a little bit different.
Yeah. I think though. Yeah, I think with Charlamagne, people also respect Dwayne Wade and his wife. Yeah. And
Dwayne Wade's a legend.
He is. Yeah. I mean, it's a hard one because...
But even he talked about it, how he was like, when he first found out, he's like, what the fuck?
He said he used to, in the locker room talk, he used to use these words like...
It's a hard... I mean, I can't imagine.
You've lived your life a certain way, right?
Well, and it's like, how do you explain that? Like, the thing I kind of get upset with is like, let's say someone like Lil Boosie who isn't understanding the times. I feel like society and like are just like completely shifted like out of nowhere. Obviously these things like have always existed, but out of nowhere like everything became like there's no explanation. Like, it's still, if I was to explain to my daughter how someone identifies as a different sex and how to like, I can't explain it. I don't have the information. Like, how is that? So it's like, it's on a spiritual level. So I get it. But like people who aren't with the times yet, man, society is evolving quick. Like things are changing very fast. Like,
but then
very fast.
Can you expect people to just like all of a sudden change? Like Lil Boosie, maybe he's at a different time. Like maybe instead of like bashing the guy or like, you know, being like, oh, this, why don't we try to educate him?
That's what you do. You have to try to educate
But it's mom mentality, right? When it comes to social media,
and that's the bad thing, because now you get demonized for how you think. And now sometimes when you get demonized or you're the bad guy, what do? You own that bad guy role. Like, I'm gonna stay on my. I seen that happen with
because he's not gonna budge. I know it.
Right.
No, I've seen watches. I used to watch his
He has
Instagram,
he has a lot of opinions.
It's like when Jake Paul released that
anxiety
statement
thing?
About anxiety.
He said anxiety isn't real. Like, you create it by yourself.
That, and then people jumped him, right?
Yeah. And then he had to delete it.
Yeah.
Right. But that's his genuine opinion.
Right. That could be a misinformed opinion though, because he's like, maybe the level of anxiety he's experienced, he was able to overcome, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that maybe there's people who have anxiety that is crippling, and they're like, and who knows why they have the anxiety? It could be like deep childhood traumas, right? Yeah. So he's speaking from maybe a place of privilege and a misinformation.
Do you think he was wrong for posting that?
At the same time, that's your opinion, because that is a mentality. Like, a lot of people will say like, oh, you're just weak, but they don't understand
That's
at
what
the same time.
he went through, but I don't think he was educated himself, really. You think? Or
My thing
I think
is,
he was just talking from his own perspective, kind of thing.
yeah.
But,
I mean,
you know, you're at that. You should.
he does believe, and I believe, like, yeah,
Yeah.
you can, like, a lot of anxiety, you are the root of it, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, I've met people. I used to think like that as well, like, you know, you're the root of everything. So like, if you're depressed, you can get yourself out of depression. But like, maybe some people do have chemical imbalances and things
That
like
you
that. Like,
can't,
I can't speak of the other people's
You
experiences.
can't. You
right?
can't
And,
jump
like,
into someone's mind.
We're not in
yeah.
somebody's brain.
It's crazy, dude. It's better, really. Like, I think you're allowed to have an opinion, like a hard opinion, but
Yeah.
at least be open enough to hear the other opinion and just like don't judge,
Mm-hmm.
Judge
right?
someone, right?
But still, if you believe something, stand by it, but not to the point where you're gonna like hurt people or like at least go inform yourself.
Yeah.
Right, like when I started to see how society was, and like, you know, a lot of people were starting to transition and things, I literally went on YouTube and just started watching a lot of stories, because I realized my daughter's going to go to high school, and there's probably going to be a lot of, even on TikTok, I realized there is a lot of youth that identify as LGB, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is actually like, a lot of people feel comfortable now to come open. So I'm like, let me inform myself about this. Like, let me inform myself, because I'm sure my daughter's gonna have friends and stuff who go through these things.
Well, even like look at us. Like if we're fortunate enough to have kids one day, we're like still like years away, and imagine what's gonna happen, right? And that's like, even you never know, right?
And it's very possible. Like, I've watched videos and people, they
Not
talk,
like that.
people.
It's like, God, please. I'm sorry for
No, I'm
everything
not
I've said.
saying that. I'm saying
For all the
that-
bad things I've ever said.
I'm saying that. Fuck, I don't even know what I'm saying.
But like,
Oh,
look
that
at-
was- yeah,
I
I
think
don't
Dwayne Wade is allowed. Like, he's gonna raise his son the way he wants it,
Yeah.
wants to,
Yeah.
and like,
You
people
shouldn't judge
people
him for
should
that.
let him.
Yeah.
But it becomes a problem only because I know people get sensitive about it, like Lil Boosie, because he is an influence, right?
Yeah.
So it's like things he does now becomes influential for society, and if you think that's the wrong direction for society, you see this as damaging. Instead of like, if your neighbor who no one knows is going through that, you may disagree, but you probably, Lil Boosie wouldn't be yelling on Twitter about it because no one knows.
Yeah.
I think some people don't want to see society go a certain direction, and when people that are so influential are doing something, they get worried. But
And
society's evolving.
Some things are like so confusing though on Twitter, like with these like politically correct people. Like I don't understand some of the stuff they say. Like it's so like in detail. Like I don't know. Like having maybe, I don't know, this light wrong or something, and they
like how
figure
you're
out, like,
supposed to address
yeah,
someone by like their pronoun and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very confusing. But
Twitter can be garbage at times, I feel like.
yeah, it can be garbage and it can be great.
Yeah.
I mean, you see all the opinions there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I feel like I get most of my information from Twitter, like
Twitter?
about
The
current
news and
events.
stuff,
Yes,
yeah.
I go to Twitter because that's where you see everyone's opinions.
Yeah,
But-
like I saw that rapper died today, this morning.
Right.
Yeah.
I heard about that on Twitter. I saw that
Yeah,
on Twitter.
yeah.
You see most things on Twitter, and then you see people's opinions. But people on Twitter are very, I'm not gonna say politically correct, but like, you know, everyone's on the progressive side
Yeah.
most of the time.
But they also control it. Twitter, because you see him call on Joe Rogan.
No. Oh.
So the CEO
Yeah, Bernie
of
Sanders,
Twitter.
right?
No, CEO
Oh.
of Twitter.
Oh, Jack.
Yeah, he went on Joe Rogan the first time,
Right.
and everybody called out Joe Rogan, was like, yo, you never really asked him any proper questions or whatever. They brought him back on again
Right.
to question him about his censorship. So a lot of like alt-right conservatives get censored, even though they're not saying anything harmful or wrong to anyone. They're just saying their opinion.
And then why don't people on the left?
So then the people on left, they can say whatever. It's controlled by the left Twitter, you feel like, kind of.
That whole left right thing
Yeah.
is like weird because it's like I don't identify with it. Like
I don't like that.
And I
shit.
think like I saw there's this chick in America who's like a college girl who's like a gun advocate,
Okay.
and she like was one of those ones that brought like an AK to her school, and she's very like pro Trump and gun advocate. So she's like going to a school somewhere, I don't know where it was, and basically everyone protested her coming to school, but they like basically protested her, like telling her like while she's coming to the school, they're like, it's a mob. It's mainly people from, I don't even like to say this, but mainly people from like the left.
Yeah.
And they're like basically like telling her like to die and like all these things, just like mob
Yeah.
mentality coming at her. But
Yeah.
and the whole thing on Twitter was like, this is not the way to treat people, but when it's her, get her.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's still not
no.
the way.
Yeah.
That's in like if people on the other side were doing that, it would be like
Yeah.
some hate.
Yeah.
So it's like that whole left right thing to me is weird, and I know it's more prominent in America, but like it's such a division.
Yeah.
People bring it up when they want to. You know, when it's like when it's convenient.
Yeah.
Right.
When it supports their beliefs,
Yeah,
then
right.
they like
Then
it.
all of
When
a
it
sudden,
doesn't,
yeah.
they're silent.
Yeah.
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. I feel like Rogan's pretty balanced though when he
He
has
is.
Yeah, I
those
mean, everybody calls him
conversations.
a conservative alt-right.
But he's actually more.
He says himself, I'm
yeah.
I'm
But
left.
those
He's
are
like, I
his
don't like
beliefs,
that.
like hunting and all that other stuff
Yeah,
he does,
meat
bro.
eating, like
He
that's-
loves that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
his passion.
but
You can't
yeah,
just call him, you know.
You're a conservative because you hunt animals,
right.
And
I guess
he
I guess
advocates for
people
guns.
look at him and think like he
and
would
like
be,
he tries his scene like from outside perspective. I don't know what he does in his daily life, but
yeah.
from outside perspective, when I've watched him a lot, he talks about like he tries like he's like
Yeah.
okay like yeah it's being vegan, it's a great thing. He's like I'm not saying anything wrong with it, but he's also saying that like if I go hunt meat, he's even trying to get meat in the most like he's not going to McDonald's, he's not like doing
No,
that, he's hunting,
his
he's doing it
own
how
meat.
how basically when we back in the
But
day that how we used
there
to
are times
eat.
where I feel like he does get a bit defensive.
yeah
So if someone
Well, he's
releases
human.
like a
Yeah.
vegan, the vegan documentary, and he obviously doesn't.
But
really,
yeah, but
so then he goes
ended up-
against it.
He
right?
ended up, but he had those guys come on, and he
Yeah.
ended up fair gaming it
Yeah,
in the sense
he
of
did.
like he did
And
not.
he said
but
that
do you
guy
feel like
changed it.
do you feel like he did that because now people were like, "Yo, man, you're just kind of like bashing them just
No,
because
I
they're
think-
vegan,"
'cause-
and then he kind of had to redeem himself, so
No,
he brought
'cause
them on.
I think he well he definitely thinks that the vegan diet is not a good diet
Yeah.
like for everybody,
Mhm.
right? You can tell he's more on the side of
The other
eating
side,
meat,
yeah.
right? Just on the nutritional values and very So when he had that conversation with them, and the guy was showing them whatever scientific facts he had, and the other guy couldn't
Say
go
anything,
par to par with the guy. It was if he went with, he would have killed his credibility
Yeah.
if he went with the meat guy.
Yeah.
The vegan guy had a lot more.
the vegan
information.
guy killed him
Killed it.
apparently.
Oh, really?
And like
He
killed it.
killed
Oh
it.
yeah, you could.
He was an ex-UFC fighter.
Yeah, he
Mm.
killed it. If Joe
The-
Rogan didn't
remember we
acknowledge
watched
that,
I don't remember.
Vic, what's it?
Yeah.
I don't know his name.
Because I've seen him like with that, and then I've also
smoking
seen him with
weed.
weed, where he gets kind of.
He gets defensive, but he's learned from that. Like I watched his episode 2 days ago with this girl from Singapore,
right?
and she's like,
Oh, that was good.
He's
Yeah.
all sick,
Yeah.
right?
I
learned
like her.
to-
She was cool.
She
She
was
was
cool.
smart.
She was smart.
Very
I
smart.
passed out like 30 minutes into it, but like
Right.
it was really good. And she's drinking those little bang things.
Right, she was, like, all
the
shaky and
yeah,
stuff?
she's all jittery and stuff. She took her
Yeah.
jacket off, and he's like, "Oh, you want like a little bit of
Yeah.
THC?" And she's like, "It doesn't work on me." And
yeah, and
then
he's like, "You just haven't
he's
had
like, "No,
enough."
no, you haven't had enough." She's like, I had 55 mgs, and he's like, "I take 500,
Right,
right?"
right.
And then she's
That's
like,
weird how that
right?
doesn't like affect her.
Yes, but he said, oh, at first, he's like, I used to be like, okay, that's BS. But he's like, now I know some legit people that are telling me
Right.
that you can get addicted
Yeah, he
to
did
it,
say that.
and you can also, he's like, it's just some, like, it's very rare.
Right.
But it's like some people's, like you'll get legit withdrawals from marijuana.
Right.
A lot of his friends go on the road, and you can't get access to marijuana.
Yeah.
In some countries, right?
Right.
So they'll get legit shakes and everything if they
Yeah.
don't have anything.
Yeah, he said that.
He said that. So
Withdrawals.
he's like, before I
Yeah.
never believed it. He's like, but now I
He had
understand.
more information.
Yeah,
He's
it's-
seen more experiences.
So it's like, but about 2 years ago, I watched another debate that this other guy said that smoking weed is bad for you, and
Right.
Completely,
they
yeah.
had a
Yeah.
boom,
Right,
like
right.
it was crazy. And this is like episode 800 something, right? But they went at it, and he's like, he got defensive, and he's like, yo, you're personally attacking me. And then Joe Rogan's like, oh, I thought we were buddies. And he's like
Yeah.
swearing at him. And you remember
he
that
got
one,
pretty
right?
Pissed off.
He's just
So that's what I'm
swearing at
saying,
it, yeah.
right? Like now, it's 2 years later, he has more education. He knows what those guys are saying true. But at that time, he was also against it, right? So he was putting information out there that wasn't true, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the time, and he has the whole world watching him. Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like
And now he's starting to understand that he didn't understand before how big this platform was.
he has a
Massive.
That he
massive
has
platform.
a cult like
He has,
following
like,
that
the most
they're
powerful. Like
yeah.
he is
It's
the best
insane.
podcast. Like
yeah.
I mean, it's hard for me to dislike that guy, even if he messes up. I'm
Yeah.
like, to me, I'm like, he's human. This guy talks to like the most brilliant people or like
Mhm.
diverse people on a daily basis,
Yeah.
long conversations, and goes bar to bar with them. He
Yeah.
seems to be knowledgeable almost in all
He
the
has a
fields to
lot of
have the
knowledge,
conversation.
man. Yeah, he
I don't know
Mhm.
how he remembers everything. And when people people like really hate on him. And
yeah.
I'm like, this guy is really smart. This guy's
Mhm.
like brilliant. And what
His
he does,
general knowledge is crazy.
It's
I've never seen
insane.
anything like that in my life.
it's almost he has
insane.
general knowledge on everything. Like he
But
can
that
talk
comes. That's probably from experience.
Yeah, but that
He's
also
probably-
comes from like the work he probably does.
Yeah.
He probably researches the person.
He does.
He probably puts
does
in the
research.
work.
But like, think about it. This guy does a lot.
He's
doing
a
these-
comedian.
He's doing these podcasts like every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
So like, that's a lot of study. That's a lot of research.
And he's
Do
writing
you think he
comedy.
does research?
He
Or
does.
do you think
100%.
He does a little
No
bit for
way,
sure.
bro.
But yeah, he has to. Like he has to know about things.
Because
But,
like even Charlemagne, he reads like the books and stuff before a guest comes. Like he even read Humble the Poet's book.
well,
Oh,
Charlemagne
really?
will read a book and be like, "We
Yeah.
gotta get this guy on."
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what
That
that
too,
what
yeah.
happened, right?
But Joe Rogan will just have you on and talk about random stuff, right? And he can just like take a conversation from one thing to another thing to another thing and just talk about the most randomest of things, right?
I feel like that's what his buddies. With his buddies, he talk about like current events and stuff like that. So he'll have that for a couple days in the week, and then he'll have somebody like some scientists. Like he's Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
guy.
that
He's
guy,
sick.
that
Like he
guy.
says like the craziest stuff. And like me and like my little brother, we watch this stuff, and this guy we watch it all the time, and we see the like. When he gets sick guests, it's like, yo, I don't know who this guy is, but
He
I want to
introduces
listen
you.
to it.
Yeah, he introduces
Yeah.
you to people.
And these guys, you search them up, 200 followers. Half of them don't even have Instagrams.
Right.
But they're just
Those
so
are
you want to
sick
listen
as
to them
fuck,
You wanna
talk,
listen to them talk.
and those are
dope.
usually the best ones.
That's dope.
It's not easy what he does, man. I have respect for it.
100%.
Like 100%. I would love to be able to like,
Sit down. Yeah.
well, just have that general knowledge to be able to speak with anybody bar to bar. Like he can go, like he has knowledge. If you talk about Chinese politics, he has some knowledge
Some
about it.
sort of knowledge.
You talk
yeah.
about like underwater shellfish. He understand. Like I'm like, where's that coming from?
That's
so true.
crazy.
Right? That's why he's at the top.
100%.
Any
That
final
is.
thoughts? You got something to leave us off with?
I felt like there's something in that podcast that left.
Yeah, you
There's
left
a
a
lot, man. There's a
Loop
lot.
loop that clip.
Loop the clip.
Loop the
Loop
clip.
That's it.
Post it on TikTok.
All right, man.
Alright, well, that was a good episode.
I think that was dope. We got some good stuff in there. I
Yeah.
want to thank you for coming on once again.
Thank you, sir.
Bless.
And maybe we'll do that.
I think, yeah,
one.
we need to get you and Randy.
Yeah,
I think we need to
too.
start doing that.
I think we got to start bringing like
Get like
Yeah.
2 guests on and have like a, you know?
I was gonna say that to you guys. I'm like,
Yeah.
let me.
Opposing views, right?
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Alright, well, comment if you guys want to, or what do people
Or
do?
comment who
Comment.
you guys would like
Yeah.
on that you guys kind of want to go at with each other.
Nobody comments, right?
Not even go at each other. but,
Do some real, you know?
I think it would be good. It's
I'm gonna make a fake account and comment.
We're gonna do it regardless if you comment or not.
I think it'd be
Yeah.
dope, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it'd be
100%,
dope.
we're gonna do
We'll
it.
do
We're
that
gonna-
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would be a vibe. That'd be
Other than that, man, thank you.
All right, thank
Bless.
you. We are the Bains Beers podcast, and we are out.